Okay, gosh, I just like watched the video like 3 or 4 times. And I mean, there's just so much that's covered over the 10 minutes. It's hard to back up and get it all, but I'm gonna try. Right? They all have whitey skin. And you screamed out, "Cracker!" I don't think it would matter. I mean, if I was sitting there and you talked, "Oh, listen here, you swamp honky cracker trailer trash wannabe." I mean, if you called me a poser, you'd probably get more of a reaction. Hey man, I ain't gonna pose, man. I'll mess you up. I mean, I just don't think. I think racism is kind of dead for why? I don't know. I think that'd be something to explore. I mean, some guy telling you that he's going to kill you is not terrorism. That's a crime. Okay. Well, I mean, or if he tells you, "I just want to kill you because I don't like you," that's not terrorism. Let me see. I think I looked it up here. Terrorism definition. All right, the use of violence and threats to intimidate or coerce for political purposes, or the state of fear and submission produced by terrorism or terrorization. All right, so like if I was hanging you or beheading you, to say that, I'm beheading this guy for all the cracker whites in America, please free the whiteys, then that might be terrorism to some degree. Yeah, you were talking about how I'm listening to you right now. I'm going to pause you for a second. I figured out this is the best way to respond. I've heard people talk about like the Branch Davidians and that whole thing that went on in Waco. That I've heard people talk about that as terrorism. So I'm not really sure about how that is. But I wouldn't really call that pop culture. I'd call that the media. And the media does a lot of crap that's just stupid. I mean, no one really watches the media anymore and thinks this is what's going on in the world. We all think this is what I'm being fed. Now I got to go find out about it. I mean, that's why we watch so many different media channels and stuff like that. So, I mean, to say, yeah, I think, of course, I agree with you that anti-Islamic groups, would go and try and, if the Columbine guys were, were Muslims, practice Islam, whatever, that they would try and draw that into, this is terrorism, even though I don't think those guys were really just confused. They weren't really trying to make a statement politically. Or maybe they were. Maybe that was terrorism. I don't know, because I really don't know what they were trying to say. I thought that they just went crazy and they were trying to make themselves, I did read about that. They were just trying to make themselves known forever. This is something that'll be talked about. I mean, and I guess it was to some degree. I mean, I don't remember their names, but I make it a point not to. Let's see. I have to say again that if I saw you walking through the airport, even with your hood, I'd probably be like, emo. Or, okay, I don't know. You look like... I've seen guys at game shops that look more like a terrorist than you. White guys, even. I don't know. You look really white, dude. I don't know. If your name was not Persian guy, I would probably think that you were from South Carolina. Yeah, you're South Carolina. Heavily play D&D. Yeah, definitely that. D20 Modern, maybe. Or Cyberpunk. Yeah, definitely Cyberpunk. If I did just hypothetically deem you suspicious, I would think because of his beard. Maybe. I don't know. I really wouldn't. I'm going to strain my mind here to try and think. Okay, Persian guy in an airport. Okay, Persian guy. There he is. He's walking around with a duffel bag, and I see him as suspicious. Okay, he has to be doing something suspicious. Because I mean, you see a lot of Middle Eastern guys, or Indian guys, or hey, who's that guy in the airport? There's a lot of people in the airport, man, and I don't know. I'd just be thinking probably about my luggage. I mean, if I had a second to sit down and I was bored and I didn't have my laptop, I would probably pretend that everybody's a terrorist just to entertain myself. I'm really not. Maybe I'm not the right guy to ask. I'll shut up about that. People don't stereotype people based on their appearance. I mean, that an appearance generates like a stereotype. Like, if you saw a bunch of white guys with suits on, and you generally know a bunch of white guys, back home who and they work behind desks and they wear suits, then you would think that these guys that you see in front of you who are white and are in suits are going to work or are working or indeed have jobs. And that would be a stereotype. And stereotypes are wrong. I don't think durka is really a racial slur so much as an offensive joke, which is kind of different. And it's not really even a joke. It's like going, okay, so he's talking to me and he's like, ching chow man, those are not, I didn't say he was saying mana so panggap sanida, whatever. So that was rude and racist, but not a racial slur. Because a racial slur has to do with, somebody like calling them a Twinkie. You know what that is? It's like a yellow guy who acts white. I don't know. So what's a zinger? There's a bunch of flavors. I'll figure it out.
The term white trash.
Yeah, durka is definitely... Shut up, Persian guy. 1 second. Okay, yeah, durka is definitely disrespect for the Arabic language. That's pretty much it. Yeah. Definitely.
That's racist.
My last point here, or my last thought on the subject, is that I think it's great that you and I and people on YouTube, at least you're responding to this in the comments. You got a bunch of comments, 60 comments at this point. I think it's great that, basically what we're discussing is etiquette. Etiquette in the media or etiquette in interpersonal relationships, like that sort of thing. You can't go saying durka. That's rude. Shame on you. You know what I mean? So I think it's great that we're discussing etiquette in America when, if I was in Iraq, it wouldn't be a discussion of etiquette. It would kind of be a discussion of survival, from what I know. Because, I did hear about that guy who got ousted by his family or whatever for being an interpreter. Because the religious leader in his area had said that the interpreter is more so of a target or more so evil than an infidel, which is me. They talk about that. You're an infidel, straight up. It's not a matter of being correct or wrong. In Iraq, I am an infidel. I am an evil white person, that sort of thing, and that's a generally accepted truth, or at least that's what I hear about it. I don't actually know. It's just what I'm told. But am I wrong? I don't know. So so I think it's great that we can discuss etiquette over here when we would pretty much be discussing survival. If I was in Iraq with you and we were trying to go through the store, you might be like, hey, Two Pillows, man, could you not go with me to this store? Because if you do, my family could be the victims of sectarian violence. You know what I'm saying? So that's a pretty interesting thought. I don't know. I've said my piece.